One second. Let me make sure we on. All right. You said scriptures dealing with war, and you said a battle between what?
Shalaki.
Go ahead.
I'd say more specifically, some of the battles that the man of the power dealt with.
The battles that the men of the Lord dealt with.
Found out about Thomas.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. No sweat. We could definitely do that. Anybody else? All right. All right. Let me make sure we up and running, and then we'll go ahead and get into it. All right. First thing the brother said he wanted to break down on heaven and hell, correct?
Kind of one kind.
All right, I'm gonna spend a little bit of time on that, so I'm gonna get the other brother question first. All right. All right. So here's when you said war originally, what I was thinking was because the Most High is a man of war, men in the Bible also, the Bible is all about war. I mean, when the Lord created Israel to be a nation, that's one of the first things he did was send them to go war against other nations so that he can give them land that was promised to them. You know what I'm saying? So um, the whole Bible is about war. I mean, we got a shirt in the school that says life is about war and nothing else. You know what I'm saying? So um, we say specifically the men of the Lord and the wars that they have, are you referring to dealing with other nations, or are you referring to the biggest wars that you have to fight being a man of God?
Shalaki.
Go ahead.
The second one out of line.
The second one. Okay. All right. Um, this also, I can give you some scriptures on it. It's not really a big deal. It falls more along the lines of discipline because the war you're gonna have or you're gonna ever have to fight is against yourself. It's against you. It's against you wanting to do everything that you custom in your entire life. It's with you, the person that you've always been, want to do the things you enjoy doing, and being able to fight that to do what the Lord want to do. That's the biggest fight that you'll ever have in the truth. See, it's not really an issue about, what your mom or your woman or your children want, besides the fact of how you feel about that. It's not an issue about, you know, um, dealing with broads or you know what I'm saying, doing drugs or whatever you have fun doing in the world. That's not really a big deal, more so along the lines of how you feel about it. At the end of the day, if you can overcome your feelings and put on the spirit of the Most High, which is easier said than done because the Lord got to give it to you, um, you'll be fine. One I always go to is Matthew chapter 4. Remember, in this class, um, we spoke about when Christ was approached by Satan, and I had broke down how once you come into the truth, the only thing that Satan can do as far as war is concerned is the lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life. You remember that, right? All right, and remember, the lust of the eyes was the lust of the eyes was things that you see that you want. The lust of the flesh was things that you've had before, or you felt, or that you've done that you want to do. And the pride of life is you not being able to humble yourself. So this is the war that we speaking about when you're talking about men of the Most High. This is the war that they have, or whatever. This is the main war they're gonna have to go through. So being the perfect scenario of how to deal with that is, all right, somebody, yeah, let's get a little bit interactive now. That's way to deal with that. And pray first, and if he can't answer it, then one of the brothers go ahead and give him some. Go ahead. The question was, if the biggest war you're gonna have, right, is the war against yourself, and you wanting to do all things that you like doing, as opposed to doing what the Most High like to do. You doing all the things that you like doing, as opposed to doing what you have to do in order to get rulership and all the things that come along with it. I said, what's the best way to fight that war? Anybody know the answer? I hope y'all didn't think y'all was finna sit in this class and not take your phone off me and answer any questions. Let's go. Brotherhood is definitely the best way. Okay, and what's the best way to learn brotherhood? That was a good answer. But what's the best? Yeah, go ahead.
I would say, like, study the scriptures.
Study the scriptures. Okay. What in the scripture will teach you brotherhood better than anything else? Go ahead. The law, statutes, and commandments. All right, y'all follow me so far, right? You follow what I'm saying, Trey? What's the precept for that? Anybody but officer in the shop. Trey, if you know, you got the first crack at it. The precept for what he said, so that you know he ain't just make that up.
Deuteronomy 30 and 19.
Anybody else? Anybody else?
Could you repeat what the answer you gave was again?
Nashak, the question was, what was the best way to, or again, do everything that you used to do or you love doing, and doing what the Most High do? The brother answered that it was brotherhood, which was correct. I said, what's the best way to make sure that you line up with brotherhood, or that the best way to learn brotherhood? And he said, through the scriptures, particularly the law, statutes, and commandments. The law, statutes, and commandments teach you brotherhood than anything else. In other words, if you are a brother to your brother, then you won't sleep with your brother's wife. If you are a brother to your brother, then you won't. You understand? I'm asking for the precept for all the answers the brother got, so y'all know it ain't just because he was the one answering. It was because he had the right answer. Go ahead, Marshamar. Marshamar, Trooper Marshamar. Go ahead. What's that?
Chapter 6, verse 17, 20, 17.
What it say? What it say?
And take the helmet of salvation. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 17.
Okay. No, Ephesians chapter. Okay, Ephesians chapter 6, verse 17 is probably going to be the answer to the brother question. That's Trey's original question. That's not the answer to that I was looking for right now. So we're gonna hold that one, but we're gonna go to it. So just hold that one for me. Anybody else?
Maybe Matthew chapter 22, verse 39.
Absolutely. And 39, everybody go. Let's get this precept real quick. Brother Pull. When you got it, go ahead and read.
Come on. Matthew chapter 22, starting at verse 30. This is the first and great.
Go back up to 30. Go back up to 36.
Verse 36. Master, which is the great commandment in the law? How it shall said unto him, thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind.
So let's get this established. It was a man coming to Yahushua. He asked him, which one is the great commandment? Now, keep in mind, it's over 600 commandments, right? So him even asking that question, you already know that he had no intentions on or thinking that Yahushua was going to have an answer for him. Because if you ask us, well, which commandment should you keep? I'm asking more importantly, which commandments should you not keep? Which commandments are not important, really? But Christ had an answer for the brother. He told him, this is he said, which commandment is the greatest? To love the Lord with all thy heart, with all thy mind. Let me read it like he said it. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind. All right, so that was the answer. That's the one that you should do. Now, let's sidebar for a minute. If you love the Lord with all your heart, all your mind, and all your soul, what will you do? Go ahead.
You're gonna keep the law, statutes, and commandments, and love your brother.
You gonna do what he say. If you love your daddy, you gonna do what he say. If you love your father, you're gonna do what he tell you to do. You're gonna be a good son. You're gonna be a good daughter. You're gonna do what he say, right? But what did he say? Through the mouth of the prophets, he gave us these laws, these statutes, and these commandments. So the brother's right. If you love the Lord, so let's get that out the way. Which is the greatest commandment? To do the commandments. Everybody follow me, right? All right, go ahead, offside Tazar.
This is the 38. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Okay, stop. The second one is just like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. First of all, Trey, who's your neighbor? Is the person that stay next to you? Is it the person that you work with? The person that you say your brother? You mean like your blood brother?
Nah, I don't want.
When you say your brother, what you mean?
My brother's in this truth in the school.
Your brothers in the truth and in the school. Good answer. I'll take that one. Precept for that would be when Christ said, who is my mother? Who is my brothers? Those that do the will of my Father, the same as my mother and my brother, right? He said, your brother is your neighbor. Your neighbor being your brother is a whole nother breakdown, but that's absolutely correct. So when he said the second one is love thy neighbor as thyself, this means you love your brothers like you love yourself, right? This is the fight that you got. In other words, if you want to sit around, I'll give you an example. If you got a family and you want to sit around and your family is about to die, right? They about to die. And you have an opportunity to save their life. But you tired. But you hungry. Are you going to go get you something to eat before you save their life? Are you going to take a nap before you try to save their life? Or are you going to go save their life? This truth is really about not being selfish. It's about loving your nation, loving your God, loving your brothers more than yourself. That's the fight. That's the battle. That's the war. The physical war is real easy. All you got to do is trust in the Most High, do what he said to do, and you're not going to ever lose a war because the Lord is on your side. The Lord is with you. So the only fight you got to do is fight yourself about doing what the Lord said do. That's the biggest war men of the Lord ever have. That's what happened with Jonah. That's what happened with Moses. The Lord came and told him, go tell Pharaoh to let my people. He's sitting there like, well, why should I do it? Like, why they gonna listen to me? He really talking to himself. The order was already given. When the man of the Lord tell you, give you an order, and you hesitate to do it, that's the war. You understand? Now, the second is just like the first one. It's almost the same commandment he gave him. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Why is it almost the same commandment?
Sure.
1 second. Let me let the young man answer. Why is it almost the same commandment? Go ahead.
Because the first commandment is all about keeping the commandments of the Most High. And the Most High has commanded us to keep brothers, to love our brothers. So they have one without the other.
Both of those commandments are going to require you to follow the commandments, to follow all of the rest of them. If you love the Most High, you're going to do what he said to do, which is keep all the commandments. If you love your people, you're going to deal with them justly. How the hell do you deal with them justly? By keeping the commandments. They're both the same thing. That's why he said what he said. He said, and the second is like unto it. Meaning it's almost the same thing. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Verse 40. Go ahead and wrap it up with verse 40, officer.
Okay. Verse 40. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets.
On these two commandments hang some of the law.
All the law.
Hang all the law. There is no commandment that tells you anything other than this is how you show the Lord you love him, by keeping the Sabbath day, by not having no other gods before him, by doing this, by reserving these feasts, remembering what he did for your forefathers. These are what the commandments are about. Other than that is how you deal with your brother. You shall not charge him usury. You shall not deal with his wife. You shall not, you see what I'm saying? This is all the commandments. Now, here's the point. Let's get Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. real quick. Here's the point. On these two hang all the commandments, right? Whoever got it, let's roll.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments.
Here's the point.
For this is the whole duty of man.
This is the whole duty. On these two hang all the commandments, right? This is the whole duty of man. So when you talk about being a man of the Lord, when you talk about doing what the Lord say and all of this other stuff, what Christ came to do is to make it very simple. You can make it hard if you want to. Brother told me, you know, if you don't fully know all the Hebrew, then how you know that what you're reading in the Bible is accurate? If you can't speak the language that they wrote it in, how you know they ain't just got it? Brothers say you got to go and do this, and you got to go back to Jerusalem. We ain't in the land. We can't do this. See, brothers want to make stuff. They like to muddy up the water. You know what I'm saying? What Christians do as well. The Christians be like, you know, and the law, statutes, the commandments are done away with. So now how I know if I'm doing right or wrong? How do you know if you sin? You understand? When it's very simple. Who don't understand? Thou shalt not. It ain't that hard. Now, the problem comes in when you don't want to do what you should do, thou shalt do, or when you want to do what thou shalt not do. That's the war, brother. You understand that? Ephesians chapter 6. Let's get it. Here's the war.
Yes, so what verse?
Want to start at? He had it already. Let me see. Let me get there. Let me get there. I'll tell you where to start. All right. Give me verse 10. Verse 10. Come on. Come on.
Finally, Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord.
Hold tight. Hold, stop right there. Remember when we just said, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Like, okay, I done said a whole bunch of stuff, but check this out. Here's the kicker. Here's the important part. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments. All right, well, this Paul talking to the brothers in Ephesus, the Israelites in Ephesus, and he done said a whole bunch of them. He done wrote all these letters, but this particular letter, this is how he gonna conclude this letter. Finally, brethren, talking to everybody, my brothers who are Israelites, to whom pertain the promises and so on. So he's talking to Israelites in Ephesus, and this is what he told them. What's the first thing? Read that again.
Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord.
Be weak in the Lord. Be weak.
Be strong.
Be a bitch.
Be strong in the Lord.
Why would he say that? God is love. God is compassion. God is a man of war. And if you are a man of the Lord, you got to be strong. Talking about physically strong? Keep reading up.
And in the power of his might.
In the power of your own might? Do it say the power of your own might right there? What it said?
And in the power of his might.
How can you be God's might? Trey?
Like Salaki.
Go ahead.
And keeping the law, statutes, and commandments.
How does that make you powerful in his might?
Shalaki.
Go ahead.
Because if I'm doing his will and keeping his commandments, the Most High will be with me, and he's in charge of everything.
Believe you not that I and my Father are one. I'm in him and he in me. When you doing the will of the Lord, then you can be powerful in his might because y'all on the same team. I play football. But I play for the Patriots. Say I ain't that good at basketball, but I play for the Lakers. I got LeBron on my team. I got Tom Brady on my team. Well, the Most High is 10 times. He created LeBron. He created Tom Brady. He created the team, the sport, everything. So my point is this. When you talk about going to war, you really only going to war with yourself. Being weak is the first thing you have to overcome when it comes to that war. Otherwise, you will succumb to everything. You will succumb to your own lust, your own desires, your own pride, your own family, your own kids, your own mama, your own woman. You will give in to everything except the Lord. You will submit your life to everything except the Lord. And that's the battle. That's the war. Keep reading, huh?
Put on the whole armor of the power.
Put on half of the armor. He said put on the whole armor. This thing don't come together like you just strap it on. You know how they tell you, like when you go to church. I don't know if y'all ever go to church. This person call people up to the altar to get saved. This person gets saved. And all of a sudden, this person changed their life that day. And they never again. What they ain't training people and teaching people how to do is to live right and to change their life so that they will get to a point that they'll never do it again. So the first day, you the same person you walked in that church being. You ain't learned nothing you didn't already know. You just felt emotional enough to go up and say, well, I'm going to give my life over to God. Well, that takes training. First thing you got to do is you got to equip yourself. That's what it's talking about, putting on the whole armor of God. How you going to take a knife to a gunfight? How you going to go and you ain't never, it's like when David would go with Goliath, they put on all this armor or whatever. He got on all this armor, but he ain't been trained to use it. He's like, I can't do it like this. I got to go with what I know. So like say you a street nigga, you've been making all your money on the streets. Now you coming to the truth. You want to change your life. I'll never sell drugs again. Well, you have to have the training in order to be able to use the little bit of money you got to sustain yourself in order to take 10% and set it aside for the Most High. This is part of the training. Seek ye first the kingdom and everything else be added unto you. Let's see what this armor he talking about is. Go ahead, Doc.
Verse 11. Put on the whole armor of the power, that ye may be able to stand against the will of the devil.
The wiles of the devil. The wiles. That you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Now, check this out. You put on this armor. You get ready to go to war, right? Is the devil going to just be like, all right, he in the truth now. Let me just leave him alone. All right, he coming to class. Let me just back off. That's not what's going to happen. The wiles of the devil. You got to be able to withstand that. Meaning, this is an everyday fight. This war is every day. every day, especially if you call yourself coming into the truth. Keep going.
Verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against power, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
This is the most important. One second. This is the most important part of what we're trying to bring out as far as with the men of the Lord and the war that they fight. It ain't the broad with the big booty that you want to smash. It ain't the dope. It ain't the money. It ain't none of that. It's you. It's your spirit. It's the stuff you want. It's the where it says love not the world, these the things in the world. I'm gonna be there. It's just how you feel about it, what you want to do, what you willing to do to get it, how much you love that, and how much you love the Most High. You always got to remember though, this thing is not about fighting physically. It's spiritual. It's a spiritual fight out. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, right? But against principalities, against powers. Now, when we see the word God in the scriptures, what do we change that word to? Go ahead. Power. We're wrestling against powers. Now, remember the angel and demons breakdown, correct? You remember that, right? When you see that word powers in the Hebrew, it translates to Elohim, or that word God in the Hebrew, it translates to Elohim, which means power. If you study Esau's Hebrew, it'll be Elohim. You heard some of them Israelites say Elohim, or we say Elohim, right? It translates to that word, which means power. Now, if you've been in the class where we talk about angels and demons, you realize that there is one Most High. All the other powers are under his control. And some of them are sent for the purpose of testing you to see if you love the Lord or you love yourself. To see if you love the Lord or you love these hoes. To see if you love the Lord or you love money. You love the Lord or you love this dope. Whatever the case may be. And so on and so forth. These are the powers that you're fighting against. Right? I'll prove it to you right after we go. Keep going on. Oh, Salakia. Let me not move too fast. Spiritual wickedness in high places. Right? Rulers of darkness. Spiritual wickedness in high places. What is the spiritual wickedness in high places? Somebody help me out with that one.
Salakia, sir.
Go ahead, priest.
Could that be like the government, like the people that's in a position of power?
I like it better the way that you said it. The government could be, but it's people who are in position of power, right? So like as black people, who is in positions of power? Who is in a position to rule over and lead black people at this point in time? Go ahead.
Nobody.
There are people in position to lead black people, be the black leaders, to keep black people checked, to tell them what the standard they should live by and all of this other. There are people who have those positions. In Christ's time, Rome put them under there to keep eyes on Hebrews and make sure that they stay with the rules. Go It's your modern day Christian church. It's your modern every place that a black man goes to try to learn and find himself and see how he should serve the Lord outside of the truth. These people, the only way that the truth and the Most High get that position back is if you give it to them. Otherwise, whatever you choose to do or you want to do, you can find one of these clubs or camps or groups or churches or whatever word you want to call them to fit what you like to do. They tailor make them now. But that ain't going to help you fight what you really need to be fighting. And that's your want, will, and desire to transgress the laws of the Most High. But they wicked and they in a position of power. So they're not going to check you for it. They're not going to correct you because they don't give a damn. You know what they care about? The $420 billion that the black church have collected over the last 30 years and bought Bentleys and Gucci suits and so on and so forth. I ain't even got no collection plate going around tonight for this class. I'm here because I love my people. That's the fight. You get it? That's the war. And you ain't wrestling with flesh and blood. You wrestling principalities, spiritual wickedness in high places, rulers of the dark. Keep going out.
Verse 17. Wherefore, you the whole armor of the power.
Put the armor.
That you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all.
Here's the point. 1 second. Not be weak was what he started with. Be strong. That's one thing you're going to see that's synonymous with men of the Lord. None of them are weak. And if they were weak, the Lord got a hold of them and tighten them up real good or punish them for being weak. So it went back to that. You got to be strong, huh? Coming to the truth, I believe Satan did everything he could possibly do to me. It's how I got my dad. Nigga ain't feel strong all the time. But it ain't about your feelings. Just be strong in the Lord. Everybody understand what I'm saying, right? Keep going up.
Verse 14. And therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the power.
Here we go. Here we go. That's a mouthful. That's all the things that you need. If you need a breakdown on, we do this every once in a while. We have to go back and down to this finite truth. But the bottom line is, you don't need that. You don't need that faith. And you can't have the type of faith that Christians got. Say, I can do all things in Christ, but I can't keep this law. Can't have that kind of faith. You got to have the faith that brings about work. And say, show me your faith, I'll show you my works. Without works. So the first thing you got to do is get to work. How you get to work? You got to preparation. That's what I'm talking about, the preparation. You got to show yourself proof. You're doing that right now. You in class, you don't miss a class, you ask some questions, you're trying to figure this thing out, you're trying to peel off that Christianity that's been put on you, trying to peel off all that street knowledge you thought you had. We're gonna do nothing but get you 25 to life. Everybody in here could be out, you know what I'm saying, getting ready to rob, murder, kill, adultery, whatever the case may be. Brothers got faith first. Now, the point, if you're reading this, in preparation of the gospel of peace, it says the righteousness, the truth, but it also says above all the shit of faith, which I just was going over. It says, wherewith you shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. Now, are we talking about physical darts that the wicked is throwing at? No. This is not about flesh and blood again. The helmet of salvation. None of this stuff is physical. It's all about your mind and you understanding what you're supposed to be doing for the Lord, deciding to do it and never looking back up. That's what the men of the Lord did. No matter what Moses could have had, he cared more about doing what the Lord said to do and leading them people out of there for him to have his nice, comfortable seat up under Pharaoh. It's first about loving your people like you love yourself. Loving the Most High more than you love anything else, right? The sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High. It's a reason why we say, do you have your sword with you? Open your sword up, read it. Talking about, the men of the Most High, read about all of them. Paul said what was written aforetime was written for our learning, that we may have hope. Because if you're looking around right now, bro, it ain't a lot of things to hope for unless you got this truth. Niggas is going to keep dying. Niggas is going to keep getting locked up. Esau going to keep putting his foot on niggas' neck. Straight like that. You got to really understand these scriptures and realize that that's what's been happening for thousands of years. Christ was a nigga who got locked up. What make you so good that you not? The grace of the Most High, right? So, we can keep going and all of this, but Ephesians chapter 6 is key to the war that you got to fight as a man, Lord, because it talks about the fact that this war is not carnal. This war is spiritual. You cannot and will not do anything unless you led by the Lord to do it. But you keep showing him you want it. You keep showing up. You keep doing this, even if you ain't a nigga that came in here. Some people come in here as scoffers. Some brothers come in the truth just because they want to get more than one wife. Some brothers come in the truth just because they hate white people. But once they get it and they realize it's really about brotherhood, it's really about showing the Most High that you love them, it's really about loving your people, then at some point the Spirit of the Lord will get on them and they become mighty men in this. You know what I'm saying? Read these men, read about, and you look at them like, damn, these my forefathers, these my ancestors, Israel, Jacob, who fought all night with the angel. Just, you know what I'm saying? Brother wasn't weak, man. They was fighting demons. They was fighting demons. One of the best ones to look at, let's go there right now, Matthew chapter 4. Let's go there right now.
Right.
Go ahead.
What verse 1?
Verse 1.
Another one come. Matthew chapter 4, verse 1.
Then was Yahushua led up the spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil.
What did he go in the wilderness for?
To be tempted of the devil.
This is why he was led by the Most High into the wilderness, so that he could be tempted. Prove yourself. Sometimes the Lord will put you in certain situations just to see what you're going to do. You know why? Because it's Satan's job. And I said this plenty of times. Satan's sitting there watching like, oh, this nigga coming to class. Man, that nigga don't love you. I guarantee you, if another nigga, old lady, if she thick enough and she offer him something, he gonna take it. Oh, that nigga don't love you. I guarantee you, if a white broad is bad enough, he gonna take it. That nigga don't love you. I'm gonna put the best loud in America in front of this nigga and see if he gonna smoke it. Oh, that nigga don't love you. I guarantee you, if his brother dropped $100, he ain't gonna give it back to him. He gonna steal it. If a nigga get caught slipping, he gonna take something from him. This is Satan's job. He's constantly in front of the Most High, telling him why you don't deserve the kingdom. And us with our simple self, we prove him right. Well, he did the same thing to Yahushua. Lord said, okay, all right, well, let's go on. I'm going to take him out here and let you deal with him then. Keep reading.
And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungry. And when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the Son of the power, command that these stones be made bread.
Now, here's the deal. Stop right there. First of all, the brother ain't ate. Brother been fasting 40 days, 40 nights. It's spiritual. Physically, you will die. Spiritually, though, you moving. Right? You fasting. You waiting for something to change. You trying to get it done. This is what the Lord told you to do. Every brother in here at some point in their life, if you're from any type of neighborhood where I came from, this is not what the scripture is saying per se, but we use this as an example. Every brother in here one time had an opportunity to take some stones and turn it into bread. I ain't saying that's what was going on, but I'm trying to get it to a point where you can relate to what's going on, all right? Keep going now.
But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone.
What's the first thing he answered and said? What? What's the 3 words?
Man shall not live.
No, before that, he answered and said,
it is written.
It is written. Where is it written at?
Right.
1 second. Trey, where is it written at?
In the law, I don't know.
It's written in the words of the Most High. And take the helmet of salvation and the sword, which is the word of God. That's Ephesians 6 and 17. All right. It is written. So he got the word. He got the sword, right? It is written. Go ahead.
Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God.
Go ahead to verse 5.
Then the devil taketh him up into the holy city and set him on a pinnacle of the temple, and said unto him, if thou be the Son of the power, cast thyself down, for it is written, he shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone.
So he's quoting scriptures to Christ. You see that, right? Satan works for the Most High. He know the scripture. What do you think? Every church in America got this book, but ain't none of them following it. Or you think every dope boy got this joint open, or he got a Bible somewhere in his car, probably sitting on top of the dope, hoping that, praying that the Lord let him. What Jesus said, I was praying that the Lord, please, Lord, don't let me go to jail tonight. Not according to knowledge, bro. Keep going.
Yahweh said unto him, it is written again.
Go ahead.
Not him.
You like, let's go ahead and battle with these scriptures then. Let's go ahead and talk about it. You want to bring something out the Bible, it's written again. It's also written that says this too. Yeah, you're right, it do say that, but that is not what it's talking about. Go ahead.
Yahweh said unto him, it is written again, thou shalt not tempt the Most High, thy power.
Keep going.
Again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them, and saith unto him, all these things will I give thee, thou wilt fall down and worship me.
See that?
And
this is the bottom line right here. This is the war right here. The same war that Yahushua had to fight right here. This is the same war you got to fight. How you going to feed yourself? How you going to eat? Right? What you going to eat? How you going to feed your family? Oh, that look good right there. I want one of those. Oh, she look good. I want one of those. Oh, that look good. Let me buy me one of them. But I ain't got no money. This is the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, the pride of life, right? Every time Yahweh shall say, it is written. All these things will I give you if you're about to fall down and worship me.
then said Yahweh unto him, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written.
For it is what?
Thou shalt. For it is written.
For it is what?
For it is written.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt worship the Most High, thy power, and him only shalt thou serve.
Read the first line in the next verse.
Then the devil leaveth him.
You see that? Keep going.
And behold, angels came and ministered unto him.
Yahushua won the war. How did he win the war? He had his sword. He had his faith. He had, the helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness. He had on the full armor. That's how a man of the Lord wins the war. Can't step out there talking about you got faith, and then when you test it, you fall every single time. Can't step out there talking about you know the word, and then when you know what I'm saying, your mama pastor or somebody come to you, then now you shucking and jiving, you moving, you shooing. You show you know the word by passing that test and going out and being able to teach and be able to cut and to come to class even after you pass your test and to learn how to break the scriptures down so that you'll be able to use the information that you got. But it all starts with square one out. It all starts with what you tell a nigga. Nigga talking this, nigga talking that. Come to class. Itazab, Officer Itazab. It's not every single Thursday you hear niggas call from all over the country. Yeah, I've been watching y'all boys' videos for years. Yeah, I've been paying attention to y'all. Yeah, I've been every single time. Get your ass in class. What are you talking about? What you waiting for? The kingdom cometh not with observation. That's what the scripture said, right? You in class. You done took step one. The next thing is continue to come to class and learn how to fight. Ask every single question. Study these scriptures when you ain't in class so you'll have questions. That's how you learn to do what Christ did. Christ studied the scriptures ever since he was a child, and he was in there cutting them brothers in the synagogues. Well, we had more other things on our mind, like Madden and hoes and getting high and what's going to be thick tonight, where everybody going to be at, where we hanging out at. You was like me, you got caught up in the white man said you go or something, like everything was important. And I got to go to the white man, the slavery, everything was important except studying the scriptures, except learning who he was, except learning how to live according to the law, statutes, and commandments. So now here you is 30 years in. All you did was sin your entire life. All you did was you know what I'm saying, live for yourself, and you trying to do it. And a nigga think it's gonna happen overnight. You was taught how to go against the Most High your entire life. The whole point is, finally, my brother, be strong. Just stay strong, dog. You see, eventually, after he done tempted Yahweh Shai and realized he ain't had no win. In verse 11, read what it said. In verse 11.
Then the devil leaveth him.
Then the devil did what?
Then the devil leaveth him.
He left him alone. And look what the Most High did for him after that. Keep reading.
And behold, angels came and ministered unto him.
Did I answer your question up?
Most
High in Christ. All right. All right, Tazar's question, heaven and hell. Let's get it. All right, so here's the deal with heaven and hell. When you coming up, you got the background I got. You know what I'm saying? You taught that heaven is this place where you die, and if you didn't live right, you go. Right? Or I mean, heaven is a place where if you got saved, you go. Hell was a place where you die, and if you didn't live right, that you go. Heaven was above the earth, and hell was below the earth. Heaven was where God was at. They had pearly gates and all of these different things. And hell had a man with a red pitchfork and fire, and he put you in the fire and burn you up, right? All of this stuff comes from a devil wrote a book called Dante's Inferno. I believe that's the name of it. Where he kind of gave that image. Comes from misinterpretation of the scriptures, right? We did a lecture probably about a year and a half ago. It's actually about a year ago. It was called The Kingdom of Heaven is Black Supremacy. I would love to go ahead and pull them slides up and break it down how Officer Matazapar went into the whole deal on how the interpretation for heaven is. Let's do this first. Somebody got a Bible dictionary. Bible dictionary. All right, go ahead and give me heaven in the Bible dictionary. Let me show you why you don't always use the Bible dictionary, but sometimes you can. Go ahead.
Zondervan Bible Dictionary. One of the two great divisions of the universe, the earth and the heavens, or one of three, heaven, earth, and the waters under the earth. And the whole heavens are the stars and planets. The term heaven of heavens, then it have.
Yeah, I know, Deuteronomy 10:14. Keep going.
Probably means the height of heaven. the abode of power.
Hey, look, Salaki, right here. Let me make sure. Now, this is the dictionary, right? And the word probably is in the definition. I just want to make sure y'all paying attention to that. Go ahead.
Probably means the height of heaven, the abode of the power.
This is the second definition, the abode of the power, where the power abides, where the power lives. Keep going.
And the angels, where the redeemed shall someday be, the inhabitants of heaven.
All right. So this is the inhabitants of heaven. It said where the Redeemer has gone and intercedes for the saints, and from where he will someday come from for his own is another one. The inhabitants of heaven. And it's got a whole bunch of scriptures here. So this is how it breaks down heaven, right? Now, when you go into when you go into the scriptures, I believe heaven is right? And it talks about it. So we got scriptures to bring out that heaven is not a place that you die and go. What heaven is rulership on the earth. Rulership on the earth. You don't believe that? Give me Deuteronomy 28:1. Go ahead. Hey, would you eat some chips up? You got it? You got the scripture? Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
All right. The reason I started there is because, first of all, before somebody can wrap their mind around whether or not you're telling the truth or not, you got to break down some simple things that you already know because you in class. You know that heaven is not, well, first of all, there's different heavens. It just gave you Bible dictionary. One is where the Most High is. Another one is where the stars and all of that is. You got the visible heavens. They got second heaven and all of this different stuff, right? So you got to show somebody where you're talking about heaven. First of all, how do you get to heaven? By doing what the Lord said do. By living for God. By serving God. Now, this is in Christian terms. I'm saying it on purpose. By living right. By accepting Christ as your Lord and Savior. This is how you get to heaven. What does the Bible say? If you live right, if you serve the Most High, if you do what he say, if you hearken diligently unto him, then I'll bring you up here with me so you can live in a imaginary place. No, he said, I will set you above on high above all nations on the face of the earth. This is heaven. Now, once you establish that fact by going there, let's go to the scriptures that you familiar with, officer, that you want to know how to break down. Let's go to Matthew chapter 6, verse 10. It's a prayer that every Christian knows. It's a prayer that we pray at the end of every class. 6 verse 10. Give it to me, Itazar.
Okay. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 10. Thy kingdom come.
Stop right there. Stop right there. Okay. It's red. So we know this is Christ. Christ said, thy kingdom come. Who is the thy?
The Most High.
The Most High. Does the Most High have a kingdom right now? The Most High don't have a kingdom?
Well, I guess he has a throne, so yeah. I mean, I said no because, you know, right now the people on earth don't, you know, serve him. But
Klein. The Most High does have a throne, and he does have a kingdom. He rules over the host. Precept. I don't want you ever to get it wrong. I don't want you ever get it wrong. Now you're a teacher. You understand? But it's okay. I still have time. I've been in the truth for years. So, but my point is that you ain't got to get it wrong. If I can help you out with it, you won't. You'll be as equipped and sharper than I am by the time we finish this class. You understand? Who got the precept?
I don't know what I'm calling. Deuteronomy 7:6.
6. Nah, that's not what I Anybody else? What the precept? Go ahead. To prove it. You say Genesis 1?
Yes, you say let us make man. Now
okay, who is he talking to?
Host of the heaven.
The host of heaven, the angels. So he's ruling over them, right? Give me Psalms 82:1 real quick. Psalms 82:1. Officer Itazab. Hold your place. Everybody else, hold your place right there.
So you said 82:1.
Psalms chapter 82, verse 1.
Okay.
No, I want Officer Itazab to read it out. You had a question?
Nah.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, Itazab.
Okay. Psalms chapter 82, verse 1. The power standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He judges among the gods. How long will he judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? The law.
You see that?
Defend.
You see that? That's all we need. The Most High standing in the congregations of the mighty and judging amongst the God. That's why we call him the Most High Power. There are other powers. He is the Most High Power. He rules over them. That's his kingdom in the spiritual realm. You got it?
Okay.
Yeah. All right, so let's go back to Matthew chapter 6 and verse 10. Now we have Christ here. He's praying to the Most High that his kingdom is going to come. But the Most High already got a kingdom. He's talking about the kingdom on earth. The Lord's kingdom on earth is with Deuteronomy 28:1, where Israel is ruling over the other nations and doing and keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments. Everybody clear on that, right? So when he's talking about his kingdom coming, read the rest of it.
Okay. Verse 11. Oh, it's like it. Verse 10. Thy kingdom come, that will be done on earth or in earth as it is in heaven.
You see that? Now, the reason why I went to the definitions first, there's more than one heaven. There's a heaven where the Most High is standing in a congregation. If you go into the angels and demons, that verse, that video on YouTube, you'll see where we broke it down, where the Most High is sitting there just talking to the spirits. He's like, who is going to go up and convince this Ahab to go to war because I want him to die in the war. And this spirit said this, and this spirit said that. And like the brother was bringing out in Genesis, he said, let us make man in our own image. Let us make this. This is the Most High ruling over subjects. He's standing in the congregation of the angels who are mighty to us and judging amongst those powers. That when it said he judges amongst the gods, that was a small g, because it's not the almighty power. All right. But what Price was praying for is that the Most High's will be done in this heaven, in his kingdom on earth, as it is in the heaven where he sits and he reigns at right now. Everybody understand?
All
right, Tazar, you clear on that breakdown?
I'm conscious.
You could break it down for a Christian if they need you to?
I'm conscious.
Most High in Christ. Give me the next one. Revelations 5 and 10, right? Let's keep it moving. What you have to do first is understand that people have been taught the same thing all their life. You coming to somebody and saying that heaven is on earth. First of all, you sound crazy. What you mean heaven is on earth? This is why you have to become like a teacher in order to be able to break it down. This is why, like when you hear Officer Shawar, I use the line he always say anyway. He take it back to somebody can familiarize himself. You know what I'm saying? The white man is in his heaven right now. Heaven is being able to do what you want, being able to have people serve you. When I go to my slavery tomorrow, the cracker that owns that the store that I work at or whatever, he probably gonna be on the golf course. He probably gonna be somewhere tricking, somewhere doing something, smoking a cigar, doing whatever he do, doing all kind of drugs while I'm there slaving for him, making his money. He ain't never showing up to that store. You understand? This is his heaven. For us, you give a piece of money, couple hoes, whatever kind of drug he like, he in his heaven. The example I was always use where Drake said, I cannot see heaven being much better than this. When you first time I heard him say that, I stole it. I use it in every class I break this down. People understand that. All niggas want to do is go and throw money at a strip club, get high. That's their life. That's heaven to us because we don't understand rulership. Rulership is way better than that. That's why we in here. Revelations 5 and 10. Go ahead.
I believe I'm going to steal that too when I go up and speak. I said, I believe I'm going to steal that too.
Yeah. Hey, listen, listen, if y'all be like, yeah, brother brought out a heavy point and all this, man. That's all I do, and it's true. Oh, General Muhammad said something. I'm going to say that when I teach the class. Captain Zaryak said something. Oh, Captain Soccer War said something real. I just pull it out. I teach what I've been taught. I ain't got to have I don't talk like them, so I might say something a little bit different, but it's the same thing that they taught me. You understand? I remember when one of the trooper up here, he got on the phone. He was like, yeah, when he first came into the school, brother say I sound like Officer Shawar. I was like, I don't know about that. Then I was going in, me and my reels was going in. She was like, you sound just like Shawar. I was like, well, maybe so. Maybe so then. I've been said, like Paul said by Gamaliel, you know what I'm saying? I sat at the kneecaps of Gamaliel for such and such and such and learned this. I just sat and learned from this brother, you know what I'm saying? And it's the same spirit. So you ain't the church saying something different. We are one body here in this, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to worry about it. When you see here, brother, break down, John 3:16, they're gonna be saying, well, you got different worlds, the white man world and Disney world and all of this. That was said from the 7 heads on back. They were saying You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it ain't no need to be trying to, you know what I'm saying? You can finesse it how you want to, but me personally, I'm gonna just go with the brothers that got some rank and they gonna bring it out and it's gonna be clear. Now, if I come up with something extra, I might throw that on top of it, but I'm definitely gonna use that. So Revelation chapter 5, verse 10.
Okay.
Let's
In the
get
book of Revelation, chapter 5, verse 10. And has made us unto our power, kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth.
so this is talking about it in the end times, right? If you go back up, you'll see, you know, all and down, and these angels are coming and proclaiming and trying to see whose word. This is a vision that John is having, right? If you go back up to verse 9 real quick,
Okay.
and this Christ showing up on the scene, and you know what I'm saying, he's the only one able to open the book, right? Go ahead to verse 9.
Okay. Verse 9. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof. For thou hast slain and hast redeemed us to the power by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation.
That kills the whole, we all gonna come together in one rainbow coalition and rule under Christ, and that heathens can be saved and be up under. Listen, that's not what this Bible is talking about. It's talking about this brother who was slain, who redeemed us, who is the us, Israel, right? Redeemed us to our power by the blood out of, pulled us back from out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation, back to being the nation that the Lord had us be. Then once he did that, now you go into verse 10, and has made us to our power. See, kings, what does a king do? Rules over something. And priests, what does the priest do? He controls what goes on as far as the Lord's business. And what's Christ do that? Redeemed us and made us to our power kings and priests. Then we shall reign on the earth. This is heaven now. This is Deuteronomy 28:1. This is Matthew 6:10. It's right here at the end of the story in Revelation. You don't believe me? Let's get Revelation 21:2. This one is probably the most difficult to break down, especially if you make it, because it's a lot in here, but you don't have to break every single thing down, right?
Okay, so
go ahead.
You want me to start out verse 1?
Khan, go ahead and start at verse 1.
Okay. In Revelation chapter 21, verse 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea.
All right, stop right there. The new heaven and the new earth, right? It said, I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth was passed away. Here's the deal. When you're talking about, you go all the way back to the creation story with Adam, the earth was made a certain way for a certain reason, right? And then the Most High saw fit to pull Adam up and give him orders and show him how to follow rules and design, and gave him a family, and from there built his nation that he wanted all the way down. But because nobody wanted to do what he said, that earth was destroyed, right? With Noah, only 8 people survived. Well, the Most High will have to continue to keep doing that until his rightful order is back in. And the scriptures say 2/3 of his people going to have to die with the heathens because they refuse to give it up. So this earth and this heaven that the white man sits in now, that Pharaoh sat in, was destroyed, will be destroyed as well. Everybody follow me. So in this vision you see now, where Donald Trump is the most powerful man in the world, as they call him, where the Arabs have their land, where the Chinese people have their land, but Israel, the Lord's people, run nothing, is going to be passed away. Their heaven is going to be gone. The earth and the way it is going to be gone. And there was no more sea. So just remind me to ask the question if you don't hear me ask on Sunday what that exactly means. But you understand that first verse, right?
Okay.
All right, verse 2.
Okay. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from the palace, out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband.
You see, it say, I, John, saw this, right? The holy city. This was a set apart city to the Most High. He calls it New Jerusalem, right? Coming out of the other heaven where he sits. In other words, this is being instituted. This is being brought forth to the earth from the Most High power, from his kingdom, from the angels, from the people that he rules over. And that particular heaven, as it is where he is going to be like that on earth, which is the prayer that Christ was telling us to pray. And it looked beautiful, like a bride adorned for her husband. All right. And it was a beautiful sight, basically. So this is talking about everything. And you can see right here, it's coming down out of the heaven where the Most High is. It's talking about a holy city. This is all happening on earth. This is rulership for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. This is the rightful place because the world was made for our sake. This is us getting the kingdom of the Most High here and practicing what he told us to practice from the very beginning. All right, so you understand heaven, right?
Okay, sir.
Anybody got any questions on that? All right. Now let's get into hell. Hey, we ain't even gotta go too much into hell. Hell, you don't die and go to hell. You wake up in hell. You was born in hell all your life. Everybody you know, how General Muhammad put it, like, we asking sisters to be in a good marriage, and they ain't never seen one. We asking brothers to live a life that's righteous before the Lord, and they ain't never seen nobody do that. It's a hard task to get people to come back when they don't have no examples on what it's supposed to be like. All they know is what they done seen their entire life. Well, if heaven is the rulership that comes along with it, where other nations are serving you and you being on top and you having the things that the Lord want to bless you with, hell is the opposite of that. Somebody go ahead and read Deuteronomy 28:16. Is it 15? I always get it confused. Give me 15. Deuteronomy 28:15. Nobody got it yet?
I got it. I thought somebody else would read it.
Yeah. Where the troopers at, man? They just read all of the heaven. Go ahead.
Okay.
Come.
Deuteronomy 28:15. But it shall come to pass that thou wilt not hearken to the voice of the Most High, thy power, to observe
about, right? Now remember, if you want to spin off the wrong stuff that's in the Christian church that you was taught about heaven, you got to spin off of it too. When they say that, you know, you're going to be in fire and tormented by the devil who got a pitchfork and all of this other stuff, to make it real simple, they don't know what's in the Bible. Right here, it's telling you what's going to happen if you do what the Lord say do. He's going to put you in above all nations upon the face of the earth. You don't do it, you're going to have curses and all of these different things that's going to follow you and overtake you, that the Lord is going to put on you. This is the Lord's anger. This is the Lord's wrath. This is what you're dealing with now. This is why we say we in hell. Somebody give me hell in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary.
Hell in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. Page 223. Hell, place and condition of
Retribution
for unredeemed man. Eternal. Matthew chapter 18, verse 8 through 9.
Yeah, don't worry about the scriptures.
Unquenchable fire, lake of fire, fire and worms.
All right, start right there. Let me read what I got in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. It's not the compact, and the wording might be a little bit different. So it's not the small one. It's got a little bit more. It started off. It say the real existence of hell is irrefutably taught in script, both a place of the wicked, dead, and a condition of retribution for the unredeemed. What's the key word that stick out to you when you hear that definition? Because y'all in the truth. Because y'all in the truth. Go ahead.
Retribution.
Huh, that's not the one that I heard. Anybody else? Go ahead.
Unredeemed.
Dang. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too One West. The word that stuck out to me was condition. The real existence of hell is irrefutably taught in scripture as both a place of the wicked dead and a condition of retribution for the unredeemed. Hell is a condition. Where is that condition at? Same place heaven is. If you do what the Lord say, He's gonna make you above all nations on the face of the earth. If you don't do what He say, well, you're gonna get all these curses and everything on the earth. You're gonna be put up under all the nations on the face of the earth, for lack of a better way to say it. Go ahead.
Do you bring your Zondervan dictionary to camp?
Do I bring it to camp? Now we keep the compact. This Zondervan that I have is it's a little bit weird. I don't like bringing it to camp because some of the words in it is different. I think it's like a new international, but it's the whole like it'll go in a little bit more on the definitions. You understand what I'm saying? I always got my sword with me though. I don't go nowhere without it. So yeah, when you see me, I'll have it. All right, yeah. I don't play like that. I done been checked too many times for that. You'll get there. All right. But yeah, that's the point. These are both conditions on the face of the earth. So this is how you, first of all, you get the definition for what you're talking about. But even without that, the brother, it said it, a place for the wicked, dead, and a condition. That was even in the compact. You know what I'm saying? So now that you got that, let's go to the scriptures. See what the scriptures got to say about hell. Let's go to Matthew 10 and 28.
Okay. In the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 28. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell.
Okay, so it says, fear him who is able to destroy both body and soul in hell. Now, we just read that hell was a condition for the people who were unredeemed or the wicked. So, if you're being destroyed, and it's saying, fear not them who could kill your body, apparently this is not talking about you being murdered or you being burnt with that type of fire, but it's talking about them who can kill both the body and soul in hell. And that hell is putting you in a condition to where you are dead. Spiritually, physically, all of that. You can put whatever condition you want. Brothers is physically dying in this hell we live in. People are spiritually dead in this world we living in. So no matter how you want to put it, it's the right of the Most High. It's the condition that you in, but not doing what he said to do. You don't believe me? Go to Exodus 16. Oh, I'm sorry, Ecclesiastes 3 and 16. Is it Ecclesiastes or Ecclesiasticus? Ecclesiastes. Let's get it.
They can start at 15.
Go ahead and start wherever it's at.
Okay. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12. Like it.
Chapter 3.
Yeah, 3.
I know I take you to Ecclesiastes 12 every class, but we already been there today.
Like y'all watching.
You got a question out?
No, I was just talking about it. Was that Ecclesiastes chapter 3?
Yep, verse 15. Go ahead, Trooper.
That which has been then is now, and that which is to be has already been, and the power requires that which is past.
Go ahead.
The vanity of all life.
Verse 16. Verse 16.
Verse 16. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment.
The place of judgment. So it's talking about after what you was taught is after a man dies, he gets judgment, right? And if he did not live right, he did not whatever the Lord said he was supposed to do, and he would get judgment. And that judgment would take place in hell. Lock it out. Put your phone on.
Oh, sorry.
And that place of judgment is either heaven or hell. If you did right, you get heaven. And if you didn't right, you get hell. That's what they say, right? But they don't tell you where it's at. They tell you like it's in the middle of the earth, or you get to go and float somewhere, or whatever the case may be. But he talking about this place of judgment. And he said, moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment. So this place of judgment is under the sun. What's under the sun? Go ahead. The earth. The earth is under the sun. Hell is a condition on earth, and heaven is too. Moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment. Keep going.
That wickedness was there.
So in this place of judgment, there is wickedness there, right? So guess what? If you're getting judged, on the earth, or let's say you're getting judged and you go to heaven, would there be wickedness there? In the Christian version of what's going to happen to you? There ain't no wickedness in heaven where the Most High dwells. There's only wickedness on the earth. This is telling you. So that's how you know heaven and hell are conditions on the earth. Place of judgment, that wickedness was there. Keep going.
And the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there.
And even in the place where men was doing righteous things and living according to the law, statutes, and commandments, and doing what the Lord say, and eating good and drinking and being merry and having kids and doing all this other stuff that the Lord said he was going to bless us with, in that place, even in that place, right? Iniquity was there. How is that possible if these are two separate places and two separate all judgment happens under the sun? Heaven and hell. We already told you what heaven is. Now we get into hell. For the best explanation of that, you would go to Deuteronomy 32 and 22.
Oh, God. There's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 22. For a fire is kindled in my anger. It shall burn into the lowest hell. It shall consume thee with her increase. It sets on fire the foundations of the mountains.
This is the Most High's anger towards those who did go against his will, who got too much pride and too much love to say they're going to do what they do. This is what happened. This is where you get the whole Dante's Inferno from and a whole bunch of other stuff. If you go through it, I got a whole class on hell, right? But just in these basic three that we bringing out tonight, this is the one that puts it all into perspective. This is the Most High saying this. Deuteronomy 32 and 22, right? Hold on a second. Verse 22, he said, for a fire is kindled in my anger, right? So this is the hell that you're going through, is because you pissed the Lord off. You ever heard people say 38 hot? You got me 38 hot. You got me heated. Go ahead.
I don't know how y'all got no funny cat got that.
I got it from Officer Shawar. No, Salakia. We've been saying that since I was 10 years old. That's not a South Florida term. Everybody in the South say that. But anyway, you seen a nigga 38 hot before. Well, that's what happens. The Lord is hot. He say a fire is kindled in my anger. Hell, it's in the Bible. What are you talking about? How they only gonna say that in South Florida? I read it out the Bible. And shall burn into the lowest hell, right? And consume the earth with her increase. So this is what it's talking about. You done pissed the Lord off, and now you will feel in the wrath of the Most High, and it's going to consume the earth. So everybody that's a part of that condition, all the unrighteous, all the wicked, all the unredeemed, these people gonna feel the wrath for not doing what the Lord say, and that's what we was just bringing out in Deuteronomy 28 and 15. All right, so that's the ones that you know off top. That's a simple breakdown of it. Like I say, it's a whole class on hell. We did a whole lecture on heaven. It's a lot more than that, but hopefully that got you together as far as those two things. Go ahead.
In conclusion, with that hell that's in verse Deuteronomy 22, Deuteronomy 32 and 22, that's like what is that hell defined as exactly again?
You say, what is it defined as?
Okay, like
Is a condition that the Most High, a condition on earth that the Most High, that you are receiving for pissing the Most High off, for going against the Most High.
Okay, so it's when it says the lowest hell, basically like you in the lowest condition on earth.
Absolutely. You in a high condition. Even your hell may be different from my hell. You know what I'm saying? Right now, you know what I'm saying, brothers, it's a lot brothers with a lot more money than we got, or they might have this, but they got some other issues that they dealing with for not doing what the Lord said. You know what I'm saying? You got brothers that's rich Israelites. They ain't thinking about the Lord. They get a chance to take a piece of the white man's heaven, but somehow they going through. You better believe it. They still under these curses. They still got to answer to people. They still got to do things they don't want to do. In order to maintain his mansion, you know what I'm saying, Tyler Perry got to answer to some cracker or do whatever he got. It's something he don't want to do that he have to do in order to eat from the white man's table. Here's the thing why the Most High said it in Matthew chapter 6. If you go back when he's talking about heaven, once he break that down, he's also talking about all the different things that you could think about to try to, wonder what you're going to eat tomorrow, how you're going to live, all of these different things. And he said, take no thought for that type of stuff. But seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. Because in the kingdom of heaven, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. You'll have all of these things because you're the children of the Most High.
So I get.
Go ahead.
So, and the foundation, all right, so it says on the mountain, is that mountain is synonymous with nations or kingdoms?
Nations have always been talked about as trees, as mountains, as kingdoms. This right here is more so the hell, like even if a bit go to verse 21, you'll see that this is the hell that we in right now. Just read verse 21.
Okay.
Go to verse 20. Go to verse 20.
Verse 20. He said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be. For they are very forward generation. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be. For they are a very forward generation. In whom is no faith.
You see that? So it's talking about us, right? This is talking about we went against the Lord and we pissed him off. So he's saying he's just gonna hide his faith. This means when you wondering why you didn't get your justice, when you wondering why no matter how much they and doing all this other stuff, Lord getting us up out of this. When they say no man shall buy you, no man can redeem you, save you, or get you out of that situation, because the Lord hid his face. That's what hell is. The Lord hiding his face from you. You praying, you want a better life, you want better schools for your kids, you want to be able to eat certain food, you want not to drink water with lead in it, not drive, you know what I'm saying, this kind of car, but you want all the things that you desiring because you see them, but you can't have it. Right? You a forward generation in the
We are under Commanding General Yohana. We are not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group.